in our living room. So we talked and sang through the show, and no audience, just to hear what it sounds like and what direction we might want to go with the show. And at that time, it was called Something About Me. And the four characters were a character based on me, who's called Mark, and then a character based on my college roommate, David, and a character based on my ex-girlfriend, and then a character based on my wife at the time, or fiance and then wife at the time. And it was my first exploration, but it wasn't really so much about my experience. It was more about what it feels like to be down, what it feels like to be up. And yeah, so that was the first version. And then what happened was that my wife and I actually got divorced. And given that she was a character in the show, it sort of fell on the wayside for a while until I had this concert coming up. And I said, what am I going to do? I should have a theme. Oh, maybe the theme could be me, because basically a lot of these songs were about me in some way. So I wrote this show called A Bit Too Much About Me, which you're already hearing on the show right now.
From Something About Me into A Bit Too Much About Me. Hold on, Zach. We got to pause for a second. We're going to take our first break, and then we're going to pick up where you left off when we get back. But stay tuned. We'll be back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment.
You're listening to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. We welcome your input at 866-826-1340. Tiffany will be right back after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Hi, this is Tiffany Werner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Werner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
We are back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner. To join in the discussion, call 866-826-1340. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hi, welcome back. And if you're just tuning in, this is Moments of Clarity. My name is Tiffany Werner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're talking about living with bipolar, manic episodes, what it really looks like, and especially for a Broadway musician. And from New York, he's wrote and played for musicals such as Mean Girls, Color Purple, Motown, and more. And he's writing his own, and we're in the process of listening to how he's come up with that and struggled with this and so many life challenges. And welcome back, Zak Sandler.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Hey, so we left off, and I want to pick up where you left off, but we have a caller. We have a caller, Jeff, that just called in. Thanks for calling into Moments of Clarity.
Hey, Tiffany, Jeff Berger here. How
Hi.
are you? Thanks for having me on the show, and congratulations, Zach, on all of your accomplishments, being a New York City performer with the New York City Jazz Company many years ago. But my question for you today, and congratulations with coming out in regards to discussing bipolar. I have a nephew who has been diagnosed bipolar. He's gone through multiple situations where he's on medication, he's off medication, in facilities and out of facilities. What would you recommend for family members to kind of guide him into a direction of purpose?
Good question.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. That's a great question. Direction of purpose. So, I obviously I can't just say what's going to work for you or for him. I can say what has worked for me, and I think sort of as I mentioned about the first episode, when my family was interested in what I was saying and the ideas that I was working on, that really helped me feel supported. And also, I think I've been encouraged. I mean, I don't know what your son's interests are or passions, but I've definitely been encouraged by my parents and my family and my friends to do those things, and that's been very helpful. And then I think some way of maybe expressing the feeling of what he's gone through, getting in touch with any vulnerability that comes with that, which is a big theme for me recently, and being able to not feel ashamed about it, but to say, this is a part of my story, and I'm going to own my story. This is who I am. And I think that actually brings a lot of power with it, and maybe could help restore a sense of purpose and direction.
Yeah, and those are great points. I think, right now he's at the point where he has no purpose. He doesn't believe that he is worthwhile living, so he has had several suicide attempts, and
sorry to hear that.
Trying for months and months and to try to get him into some type of alignment. And he basically takes off and has his and he's my nephew. He's not my son.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So yeah, it's talking with people like you who have gone through your own situation in regards to maybe getting a different nugget to be able to share with him. And that's, that's the goal. I mean, we can only do so much, obviously, until he is ready to accept who he is and be able to work on himself. So thank you.
Well, Jeff, if he's dealing with depression and having several suicide attempts, that needs to be addressed first for him to even want to find a purpose.
Yeah.
And
that's absolutely true, Tiffany. I totally agree with you. He's been in and out of facilities, but he's in a facility for like 2 days, and then they let him go. He's not suicidal. He's doing okay. And it's like, wait a minute.
No, maybe he needs a residential, not a Baker Act.
That's very possible. But the other thing too is when he gets into the facility, then after a couple of days he wants to leave. So I guess you can't. And I don't understand this. I mean, this is in New York State. I don't know what the rules and regulations are, but you can't hold somebody if they don't want to stay there. And that's been the ongoing.
How old is he?
With 27.
Yeah. Okay. So.
And he has a brother. He has a brother who is just out of his 6th attempt with heroin overdose, and the saddest part is their father is a recovering AANA of 27 years. So it's just been a struggle from that aspect. But those are the things that, yes, they need to be addressed. Trying to find maybe a facility that he would be, in agreement. I think the thing
willing
is
to go.
There,
he has to want to be helped.
Right. I think the thing up there is that they group people in. He had like 4 roommates in one room. So I think that's an issue. They just throw people into these rooms, and they tried 5 different medications on him in 3 days. It was just a horrific situation.
Yeah, and they haven't found the right one. It sounds like. I mean, I'm not pro medicine all the time, but sometimes we need it.
No, this is true. He's been on 15 different medications, so it's been a roller coaster. I think, things really started happening 3 years ago when they started introducing all these medications, and it just keeps getting worse. So trying to get him off the medication and get him into some kind of other program. But you come up with some really great ideas, and I'm going to let you get back to the other callers because I don't want to take any more of your time, but appreciate your thoughts and look forward to hearing more about your story and your writing.
Thanks for calling in, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Bye.
Okay.
Take care.
Thanks, Zach.
Good luck.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, if I could say just 2 other things about this, that would be great. The first is I'm happy to speak with anyone, including your nephew or anyone else who's hearing this directly. You can email me. It's Zak Sandler. That's ZakSandler @gmail.com. No C, just Zak Sandler @gmail.com. So that's the first thing. Also, I've been so with a situation like that with suicidal attempts or ideations and depression, as Tiffany said, it's very important to get help from professionals who know what they're doing and will treat him like a human being and not just a number or a patient. But when that, either once that's done or maybe even concurrently, I've been working on this thing that I'm calling mind modeling, which is basically a way of sort of characterizing or personifying all these different parts of our brain. So, like Inside Out the movie, there's anger, we call him the angry dragon, or worrying Wally. So we have that, and then we also have these things like the judge or the critic or the bully, and we have the wounded child, and we have the person who can address these things. So I've actually been doing a lot of this recently, where you mentioned that your nephew feels maybe worthless or directionless. And if I have a trigger, a strong negative emotional trigger, I'll often sort of close my eyes and see, using the seer, the part of my mind that can see everything that's happening within. And the seer will see that the bully or the judge is yelling at me, saying, "You are worthless. You are invaluable. You stink," whatever it is. And I'll be like, "Oh, you're saying this, and I'll tell you to be quiet. I'm not listening to you because you're lying and it's not true." And then I'll tend to the sort of wounded child inside that's being hurt by all these things and say, "Oh, I see that you're, hurting or sad or scared, and I'm there for you. It's okay." And I stood up to the bully, so you'll see that. And then I can say, "Okay, I don't believe that I'm worthless. What do I actually believe? Oh, I actually believe that I am worthy, and that I'm strong, and that I am brave." And that, initially it might take 15, 20 minutes to go through that, but now I'm able to do it in about a minute or two, and incredibly helpful for me.
Yeah, affirmations, that's really good. I think what stems from him is back in his school days, he was a slow learner, and he was bullied and teased. And I think that's just kind of has evolved over the years and bringing down his self-worth from that aspect.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah, and if we're bullied, it's easy to take that on and internalize it and bully ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. He's also a junk food vegan, and I'm sure you know what that is, right?
I don't know what that is, but I like it.
Oh, you don't? So a vegan obviously doesn't eat meat or any animal products, and when it comes to a junk food, he binges on candy for days and days. So he's killing
junk
his
food
gut.
Vegan. Yeah.
So that's what he does, is he binges on candy for a couple of days, and it just throws him off with all the sugar, destroying his gut and destroying his brain, basically, from that.
Yeah,
he goes into psychotic mood. I think he goes into, really, I'm going to say psychotic, but don't quote me on that. I tagged his mother in this call, so hopefully she'll get to listen to it and hear what your thoughts are, as well as Tiffany's. So, but thank you so much. I really appreciate
You're welcome.
Thanks for calling in, Jeff.
Your information. Thank you.
Good luck.
All right, you guys have a great day.
You
Thanks.
too. It's hard being a parent or a family of a loved one and worrying about their stability like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so Zach, where we left off before we had the question, you were writing another story about It's Too Much About Me. I'm kind of curious, what happened with your marriage? Was the one that kind of led you into a manic episode before the wedding, and then what happened?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I don't want to pin the episode on the relationship with her, because I think it was much more than that.
That's why I'm asking, because it kind of sounded like it. So I wanted you to kind of elaborate on that, if that was part of the mental health or if it was just other stuff that got in the way.
Yeah. So basically we were married for a year, and what happened was that I developed a crush on this girl at work, and felt that I couldn't really tell anyone about it, because, you're not supposed to date anyone at work, and you're not supposed to, be interested in other people if you're married or in a relationship. So all these ideas that I had about what it should be. And basically, she found out and confronted me about it, and, nothing had happened. We didn't go on any dates. She didn't even know that I had a crush on her, but